So, Sean, let's just start with why are you running for Attorney General? What is it that you think that you can bring to this position? I mean, obviously, this has been almost a couple of decades since we've had a Democrat in the Attorney General's position in Florida, and I know that Pam Bondi is term limiting out. So there's an opportunity here that maybe hasn't been here in a long time. Why Attorney General of Florida?
Listen, it's the best office in Florida. I think it's better than the governor's office. It's better than the U.S. Senate. It is the office where you're running to be the lawyer for the state of Florida, and we need to return that office to the people. You know, it's been since 2002 that we've had a Democrat in there, and that was Bob Butterworth. And this office, as I told you, is the office that can best serve the people, best protect the people with the least amount of kind of bureaucratic interference. You know, I don't have to run anything up the flagpole. I don't have to ask the governor's permission to do something. I don't have to get a Senate sponsor to do something. I can really run as an independent watchdog and do whatever I think I need to do to protect the interests of not only the citizens of the state of Florida, but of the United States. It's just an amazing office with a lot of tools to help the people. I would argue to you, we just have not seen the office used as it could have been used. This office has been used kind of to be the general counsel to the governor. That's really how it's been treated. I don't intend to run it like that. We intend to be an active, proactive office that will be an independent watchdog for the people. And I'm really there to make sure everyone is held accountable under the law, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter what party you are. And we're going to protect Floridians, and we're going to be loud, and we're going to be in your face and active about it. That's what I intend to be.
Sean, break it down for me a little bit. I mean, that I know the Attorney General, right? And and your assessment of this position is one that I think that definitely resonates with me. I've been told by folks running for attorney generals that the job is one of those jobs where it really is what you decide to make of it in that position. And Florida, of course, is a major state. It has, it's not quite California or New York in terms of policies that are set there, and but will have implications throughout the entire country.
We could be.
But that you could be, right. And so let me ask you this. I mean, break it down for me here in terms of like what you would do in the state that would have implications in the state, and what you would do in the state that would have implications for the rest of the country, and also with a special emphasis on the fact that we have a Republican administration, a Donald Trump administration. So there's a lot of potential egregious stuff that's happening there that wouldn't otherwise be happening there.
Great questions. I'm going to answer the second one first and talk about some of the national stuff. When the president was first elected, and he and his administration instituted a Muslim travel ban, it was not Congress, it was not politicians that all of a sudden grew a spine. It was attorney generals around this country who joined in a lawsuit to sue the administration and got that policy stopped. The attorney generals of Maryland and D.C. are currently suing the president for alleged violations of the Emoluments Clause. And the Emoluments Clause is the clause that prevents the president from personally profiting from the presidency. Here in Florida, around the country, but particularly in Homestead, Florida, we had a situation where these detention center ICE policies were putting kids in cages. And we went down there and did a press conference and tried to get access, and we're not allowed access. But what I did say is that I would be one of the attorney generals around the country who would have joined together with other attorney generals to sue the administration. And I mean, there's issues like Cambridge Analytica and privacy and Facebook. And there's just a myriad of EPA issues and environmental issues that attorney generals around this country band together and affect change. I'm going to give you one guess as to what state is never on those lists. It's Florida.
Right.
We are never on those lists of attorneys general around the country who are actively trying to take on people that are doing wrong and actively trying to protect the citizens against bad actors. What lists we have been on are the list to fight Obamacare and the list to fight against marriage equality. That's kind of what Pam Bondi has spent a lot of her time on in terms of national issues. I probably don't have to tell you much more than to say I disagree with her on almost 95% of her policy issues. We're going to be an office that is aggressive not only on state issues but federal issues. I think that's what the office requires, and quite frankly, in an office like Florida, it's what it demands. Let's talk about some state issues.
Well, let's move. I want to get to state issues in just a second, because one of the things that as you're listing that off, I would imagine, had there been a Democrat in the Attorney General's office in the state of Florida when we were talking about the different implications of the financial crisis and the behavior of lenders and mortgage companies, that the Florida Attorney General could be a leader in that type of advocacy and that type of litigation.
Should be. Not only could we be a leader, we should be a leader. I'm sitting here in Pensacola right now, whose beaches were covered in oil when the BP oil spill happened. And our Attorney General here in Florida, Pam Bondi, essentially waited till the very last minute and settled for pennies on the dollar when the state could have gotten much more resources, much more money from BP if we had been aggressive about it. Then the mortgage crisis, this is ground zero. Florida was ground zero for the mortgage crisis, and we essentially abdicated our role to New York. And New York took on the leadership in that on that issue and got a lot of money as a result of it and got a lot of help for their consumers and citizens, and we didn't. We're not on the front line of these issues. Florida doesn't like to lead. Florida doesn't like to go after big bad actors, and that's going to change when I get elected. That is what we're going to be known for. That's what kind of office I intend to run, an active, proactive office that's going to hold everyone accountable and going to make sure that everyone is following the law. And if you're not and you're harming Floridians, you're going to hear from us. If you're doing well and you're doing right, you won't hear from us. But those companies and those entities that are handling everything in the right way are going to love an attorney general who's going after the bad actors.
I'm talking to Sean Shaw. He's running for Florida Attorney General's office. And Sean, we just have about 30 seconds left here. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, I want you to go through some of those things that may be unique to Florida in terms of what you can do with statewide implications.
Sure.
And I imagine some of those are going to transfer to other states, so people get just a sense of what the Attorney General's position is all about. I also want to talk to you about the opioid lawsuits. This is obviously a major topic across the country, and we have various different of strategies and tactics that are being used to hold opioid manufacturers and distributors to account. I want to get your take on that when we return as well. And I want to hear more about your biography and your experience, because I think particularly your history as a consumer advocate, hugely important for citizens of Florida. But, again, this is the same dynamic that people should be having with their own attorney generals. We got to take a quick break. I'm Sam Seder. This is Ring of Fire Radio. We'll be right back.